A few years ago, my anxiety was at an all-time high. I already felt somewhat disconnected from reality, but things escalated when I started hearing noises outside my window, every single night without fail. It wouldn't stop. Eventually, I'd get so freaked out that I'd wake my parents to check, but they never found anything. I started questioning my sanity, wondering if I was just imagining things or subconsciously seeking attention. Then one morning, my grandfather found one of our lawn chairs placed beneath our bathroom window. The window was high up, with a fogged lower pane, so I wasn't even sure if the chair was useful for anything, but someone had left it there. The next night I heard the sounds again, still nothing. But the night after, we finally saw something that made my stomach churn. A small stepladder had been positioned just outside my window, placed far enough back for someone to sit but still have a clear view inside. On my windowsill sat a bag of now cold McDonald's from up the street, mostly untouched. That meant someone had been watching me, unnoticed, for who knows how long. The cops were called, but nothing came of it. There was no suspect, just the unsettling confirmation that someone had been at my window, peering in through the narrow gap between my curtains. The noises continued. I ran outside. Nothing. Earlier that night, I had sewn my curtains together to make it harder to see in. Apparently it worked because the stalker changed tactics. Instead of using a ladder, they climbed onto our air conditioning unit, then onto our garbage bin, standing on top to get a better view above the drapes. We found handprints and shoe prints on the lid, clear proof of what they were doing. Then I noticed holes in my window screen, holes I had heard being made. The person had taken a stick, sharpened it somehow. We found it outside my window, and was slowly, methodically poking through the screen, trying to break it away bit by bit. The hole is still there. One night, I distinctly heard gravel crunch near my window. There was no mistaking it. As quietly as possible, I let out a faint sound as if shifting in my sleep, then rolled out of view. Heart pounding, I crept to my parents' room. Instead of knocking and alerting the stalker, I slipped inside and woke them up, whispering that someone was definitely outside my window. My parents didn't hesitate. They got dressed, came up with a plan, and crept toward the back door. I ran to the bathroom, climbed onto the edge of the tub, and peeked out just as my parents threw the back door open and charged outside. And sure enough, they saw him. The man jumped off the garbage bin and bolted down our driveway. My parents screamed after him, my dad shouting, "You sick motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking kill you," and my mom, "You fucking freak." He took off across the street and hid behind a neighboring house, but he had the nerve to keep peeking at us while we stood outside, waiting for the cops to arrive. We hoped to trap him there, but by the time the police showed up, he was gone. Must have jumped a fence or slipped away somehow. Even now, I still hear noises outside my window, sometimes even in the dead of winter, but he's never actually there. Maybe he was just a peeping Tom, but he targeted me, specifically for months, until he was almost caught. And what really haunts me is that after he gave up on watching me, he moved down the street to a house with 2 little girls. He actually managed to get inside their window. Their dad woke up to find him just standing in their room, watching them sleep, apparently jerking off. I don't think he was ever caught even then. I know it could have been worse, but it still messed me up. I don't trust the men in my neighborhood. They stare. I've been chased home. I've had a guy try to pull me into his car after I told him no, I didn't need a ride. Years later, I still get paranoid whenever I hear something outside. I keep my lights off when I exercise. I avoid the windows when I undress. It wasn't the worst thing that could have happened, but it left a mark. For more bizarre stories, please follow, like, share, and subscribe.